What's up, everybody? Happy Christmas Eve. Is that Merry Christmas Eve? Happy Christmas.
Happy if you're British.
Yeah.
Jolly.
Christmas.
Jolly Christmas Eve. Here we are at Invisible Walls, your indentured servants in video gamedom. It's Christmas Eve, yet here we are delivering yet another stellar episode of our video podcast to you. Hopefully you guys got a chance to download this before you hop in the car to go to Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Enjoy your sweaters.
Jumpers. Your boxers and socks. But it is Christmas Eve. Hopefully everyone is having a great holiday season. You guys have managed to get close to the ones you love, or at least you're close to the video games that you love. I know this is a good time for me to actually get to play some games I didn't review during the year. So I'm trying to pile through my backlog right now of games. But we do have sort of a different show today. Pretty much today is all about Q&A. We really didn't have a chance to do a lot of On the Hook towards the end of the year. So many games to talk about. You guys have asked some great questions on our Facebook page. So we want to make sure that we go through and answer as many as possible as our special gift to you in this holiday season. And here to deliver that gift is Marcus Beer.
Here's hoping Santa fills your sack with goodies this year.
A full sack is always good. Ryan Stevens.
Yeah, some people would enjoy that, I'd say.
Yes, full sacks. Brooks Huber.
Happy holidays.
And Brandon Jones.
Ho, ho, ho. How are you?
You are a ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho.
Ho, ho.
All right, so I have the first question from Jovac, and it's a hypothetical question. Call of Duty dies. Why do you pick me to read this one? But it's $1 billion in sales, still goes somewhere within the video games industry. Where do you think that money would go, or where would you want to see the money go? In my pocket?
Great question, by the way.
It is actually a very, very good question, because it's something we do raise week after week, that, Call of Duty is bringing all this money into the industry, but it's also, affecting everybody else. And, it is the 8,000-pound gorilla.
Well, I think the obvious answer is JRPGs.
I was actually hoping to prolong Guitar Hero for another 3 or 4 years. With it.
Tony Hawk, I think he's. I mean, Activision obviously needs this money back. So
Yeah.
How about some more third-party Carnival games for the Wii?
yes.
Yeah.
But serious answers?
It would just go to the other blockbuster games. Like Halo would have done more sales this year. Mass Effect
I'd
would have
actually
done more
like-
sales.
I would
actually
actually
like
like
it
to
to-
see it splinter to more of the kind of the niche. I mean,
Yeah.
where I'd like to see it go, or where it probably would happen. I agree with you,
That's
Shane.
not gonna
Original
happen.
IPs.
But
No, I think it going to the indies. A lot of the indies, the guys who've done Splosion Man, the guys who've done Joe Danger.
Let's qualify this. Are you saying where it would go, or where you would hope?
where
it
I
would
would
go?
hope it would
Right.
go. I mean,
Yeah.
$1 billion is a lot of money. I think it's like 14 euros or something. But I think it would be great if it was divided more, so we had some of the smaller companies getting a chance to really sort of like push out and get some success. Demon's Souls, for example, that would be a great game that needed a little bit more push, and it would be great to see a game like that selling a lot more than it actually did. But yeah, I'd like to see less 800-pound gorillas and more more variety, better games.
Yeah, but I think, or can we all agree that probably the money would just be spread out among the other blockbusters that aren't Call of Duty?
I think a couple of
some
those dollars
trickle
would trickle down.
Yeah, not that much, I don't think, though. I think you'd just see an extra maybe 500,000 sales on top of Reach.
Probably
this
wouldn't go to
year.
Medal of Honor though. Sorry, EA.
No, I think and then maybe they look a little more closely at games that were released earlier in the year. So maybe God of War gets an extra little tick. Maybe you see stuff that was released early in the year, Bayonetta stuff like maybe Vanquish does better than it did.
Definitely.
I think you get a look at a lot of these. They're not even level games, but they're just not. There's a lot of marketing money behind them. They don't have the ability to advertise for games of equal quality.
The Russians have complete control of this place.
LAPD.
I have a question from someone called Mr. Beer Fallout.
It is
which
not
I'm wondering
me, I
is a
swear.
pseudonym.
Come on,
I swear,
man.
seriously, if I
Persuadium.
was going to do a question like that, wouldn't I have done the hypothetical Call of Duty one?
Well, you do know what's
No,
going
no.
on here. This person obviously has used that name, so you would read the question and put it in the show. So mission accomplished, Mr. Beer Fallout.
Well, I'm looking forward to Mr. Shane DJ Hero.
And this next
getting his
question is
question out
from,
next week.
do you think LA Noire will be a little stale considering it's the same formula, going from point A to point B, shooting people, etc., but a different time period? I played Red Dead Redemption feeling the same way. The style is getting a little old for me. How do you guys feel?
Yes.
Yeah, that's another interesting question. 'Cause, I mean, I'm stoked for LA
It's a good
Noire.
question. Red Dead Redemption, I think, was different enough from GTA. It did feel very similar, but the kind of just how the city was gone and it was the wilderness was enough of a kind of a big push.
Personally, I did have the push to finish Red Dead Redemption. I've yet to finish GTA 4.
Yeah.
Just because it was entirely different environment. GTA 4 at that time had already been the city. They already replicated Liberty City.
I think we all have felt like puzzles in games have kind of gone away. People shit on puzzles a little bit. If this detective stuff gets you stuck in the game, because let's be honest, it was hard to get outright stuck in a lot of these games.
It's almost impossible to get stuck in games anymore, period.
Right. With this detective stuff, and I know from when Justin got to see the game, there's paths. Dude, they all lead you to the same conclusion. But basically, if you're like stupid, if you don't pick up on the clues, they are going to be like, hey, Jimmy, we got a tip, and you will get to like the scene of the crime.
You get
but the
hit
question
over the head
about
with something called a clue.
It's going to be interesting to see if like
I'm getting a total clue.
what comes out.
Me too.
My clue is pointing me over there.
It's going to be interesting, the detective stuff.
Well, Red Dead was named Game of the Year at the VGA, so it seems like a lot of people may be differing from our opinion, and they're
it's
not
a good
sick
formula. I mean, open
that's
world
me,
sandbox
yeah.
games are great.
Brandon's not sick of it.
No, not at all. I think there's something to be said for telling a really good story, and I certainly don't want to see a game like that turn into something like Mass Effect. And I think one of the reasons why I'm turned off from Mass Effect is that I just staring at somebody staring right back at me. It's like kind of what I'm not looking forward to in Oblivion again, where every time you talk to somebody, it's like they're just staring at you and just profile like they're a painting. And I just don't really feel an organic feeling when I'm talking to characters in Mass Effect. I feel like
agree with that.
It's all about the tree. Like I don't feel like I'm in there in that room with them. I feel like I'm watching a cinema and controlling it.
Yeah, but you don't get that in Red Dead. I mean,
Red Dead's in some ways worse. Like,
yeah,
how many people die in cutscenes, and you're like, I could have saved those people.
Yeah, I mean, there is less control in Red
so
Dead.
Specific, and it's so clear that they have such a vision for what they want those characters to be. And
One thing I would say they're great
why-
at is developing characters. You can hear 3 lines of voiceover from their characters, and you infer so much more about that person than you.
Right.
Nico, John Marston. I mean, those guys have been are phenomenal. But
I'm not talking about the main characters. I'm talking about the people you bump into
the
throughout
NPCs.
the game.
Right. Okay.
Who have 3 lines of dialogue, and you feel like you know those people
do
in
that,
those 3 lines.
They do that so well. The game, in my opinion, would be so much better if it took the route of allowing you to play the way you want to play. Take that, and it doesn't have to be a full-on Mass Effect level RPG or a Mass Effect 2 or Fallout. If it just gave you a little more options and a little more consequence above and beyond a posse coming after you or a horde of reporters or whatever it's going to be in LA Noire, if it just took it to that next level where you feel like I can go back and replay this and have a totally different experience. That to me is what it's all about. I mean, they obviously don't care about the replay value. You get to go in, you buy your game, you're done. Thank you, fuck off.
Their games are almost too long, I think, as well. Like Brooks, I agree with you. Like there was a bit of a slog at the end of Red Dead Redemption. Like I feel like sometimes they do drag their games out a little bit with like repetitive mission objectives. So I'd like to see that cleaned up maybe a little bit.
I think the strangers added a lot. I think that was one of my favorite parts of that game. One of my favorite strangers that I found was the sun-soaked guy who just kind of went gradually crazy the more you met him, and like you finally see him again and he's dead. And that was it. That's what you were supposed to glean from that. And if you if you didn't care about that guy, great. If you thought that was really tragic that he died, then like you can be emotionally affected by that. But I don't know. I feel like when I'm playing those games, I'm reading a good book. And I wouldn't like, it's like I think
I don't
some
know about
games.
A good book.
I think
reading a book though, maybe.
I think I don't know. I think there should be some games that are linear like that are it's like I feel like I'm playing a movie. I feel like I'm playing like a good episode of The Sopranos. I'm just watching these very like characters.
I think it's just a difference in philosophy.
But what's the difference between that and a semi-interactive movie? I mean, that's the thing. We play games to
You mean
be
CD-ROM entertainment?
CD-ROM, but we play games to be immersed. And like I said, I have no problem with reading a good book or getting a good story. The story for me is all about it, which is why I love most RPGs. But I want that level of interactivity. I want to be invested in it. I want to feel like my actions have a consequence, so that I can go back and try different things and build relationships in my gaming style. And I think that's what they're missing right now. And they need, if they can evolve that, then that's it. I mean, they'll have me as a fanboy for life, and I just hope they can do that.
But I think that's the sacrifice. I mean, clearly, you look at Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, and what they're going for is all about choice. And what they have to sacrifice is the natural feeling, like I said, of being in these environments and having their facial, like you look at LA Noire, that's the best facial animation I've ever seen in any video game. That annihilates anything they've done in Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 3 will probably be a better game than LA Noire, but they achieved that because that's clearly what they're going for. They're like, we want to make you feel like you're a guy and you're in this environment, you're in the 30s, like this is an open world. When you go and talk to these people, they don't just stand there, like their faces exude all the emotions that they're having. Like I think that just draws me more into that environment than if it was just like Warcraft and they were just standing there.
But
or Mass
it's
Effect.
all personal preference.
Yeah, but haven't we had this discussion time and time again that graphics don't matter? It's about the gameplay. It's about the gameplay.
Well,
Graphics
no, but
wins out time.
when
I'm not talking about
the
resolution, I'm
graphics are
talking about
tied to
seeing
the
their facial
story,
expressions, like
yeah, there could
seeing
be a
them
real like
communicate that.
emotional.
Seeing
tether
that
for
guy
this.
say like, "Not gonna happen, fellas," and he pulls his shotgun out. Like I'm scared of that guy.
Yeah,
That
but
guy looks pissed off.
Well, I'm sorry if I'm trying to defend Archangel in Mass Effect 3, Mass Effect 2, and we've got a timer going on, and we've got grunts coming at us left, right, and center, and I don't really care if I can see the facial expression because I've got the hairs on the back of my neck up because I know that if this guy gets killed, I've lost him for my entire team. And
Right,
he's a
but you're
heavy hitter.
playing. You're talking about a completely different case. You're talking about playing the game. He's talking about being exposed to the story elements of the game. So if you want to compare it to what he's talking about, you need to talk about the cinemas and when you interact with other characters in Mass Effect.
I think if you do something on the level that they're doing in LA Noire with that level of facial animation and cinemas that look that good, then trying to think, okay, well, we've done all this work and we brought all these actors in to record all of this body movement and voiceover and everything, and now we have to think of 8 different avenues that you can do. I just don't think they can do it.
Well, I think you're both crazy because I think all that shit sucks. I think the story in Mass Effect sucks. I think the story in that game sucks. I think it's going to be a long time until they're up to the quality of movies. That's why all I give a shit about is gameplay, and that's why I love platformers because it's all about gameplay. They don't give a crap about any of it.
Takes a certain animal cunning, lad. Do you think you might be ready for that? What have we got?
All right, people. So we didn't talk about this at the beginning of the show, but for those of you who stuck around through all our ramblings, we have a pretty big Christmas gift for all of you.
Why, Shane, what do you have in your sack for all our lucky viewers, listeners?
I just came down the chimney with a big sack full of MPD numbers. Yes, Santa has delivered us with the NPD numbers for November, the biggest sales month of the year. You're probably not going to find these NPD numbers anywhere else. So like I said, this is our gift to you, the Invisible Walls viewer. And I'm guessing probably some people who never watch or listen to the show are probably going to listen and watch to this one because you can't get these anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we just get on with the fucking numbers?
Yeah, let's just fucking talk about it.
All right.
Anyway, let's talk about hardware first. So, first of all, the DS, again, dominant, 1.5 million units in November, another $226 million in Nintendo's coffer.
That covers everything, the DSi,
Right,
the
all
old
the
school.
iterations of it.
All right.
That's right. The Game Boy Advance sold 10 units.
I just love that they're tracking Game Boy Advance and GameCube. GameCube sold 4 units for $201.
4 units.
That works out as an average of $50.25 per GameCube. So, hey, it's a great console.
It's less than the cost of the Wii, right? Not that you'd only buy the Wii to play the GameCube. PlayStation 2, 80,000 units sold in November for another $8 million. They still made $8 million in a month off the PlayStation 2. Pretty freaking awesome. Now we get to the big numbers. Obviously, well, I guess it's not the biggest number, but one of the bigger numbers for the consoles is the Xbox 360 at 1,373,000.
That actually is the biggest number after the DS.
After the DS,
of the actual full-on
consoles.
big consoles. Yeah, Xbox 360 and then the Wii. Yeah, I mean
the Wii
we know that sold
did basically about 1.3 million, so about 100,000 less than the 360, and then there's the PlayStation 3. Ooh.
Yeah, 530,117.
Ouch.
Yeah. That
is not a good November.
It is a frigging. It's a kick-ass monster console. It's got Blu-ray. Just to quote that Kevin guy, it's got Blu-ray. It does everything. The only thing it doesn't do is give you a hand job or sell, apparently, which is a shame. I mean, Sony have actually.
You think it has to do with
a
Kinect? A lot of people are looking at Kinect more than Move.
Guarantee the big bump for Microsoft. A lot of it is Kinect because we'll get to the software in a second, and you can see the software for Kinect has done pretty darn well.
And the Move software, not so much. It's
right.
not moving.
I mean, that's
Oh, thank you very much.
No, the Move software. Ooh. Ooh.
I'm telling you, people don't like playing with bloody big dildos.
Well, some
Except
people
Brooks.
do.
Oh, and the PSP, 288,000. That's pretty good for the PSP, I would say. Considering the software has been kind of slow. Although this year the software lineup for the PSP has actually been pretty good.
One of Brooks's games of the year.
That's right.
That God of War. Now
Ghost of Sparta.
Yeah, there you go.
So overall, a good month for hardware sales in general, I would say. So let's get to software sales. Now, the first thing I think we should mention is that you have to go to the 41st best-selling game of November before it drops below 100,000 units sold.
And that 41st game is FIFA Soccer.
FIFA Soccer for the 360, and it still sold 98,000. So, I mean, it has been a good month. Even if you drop down to like 60th, you're still looking at like 75,000 units sold. So, definitely a good month for software. But let's specifically focus on the top 10.
Hang on, I want to. One game has just come up. Then caught my attention. The Nintendo DS version of Iron Man 2 sold over 40,000 units. That's 40,000 suckers.
Wow.
So let's go back to
disheartening. So let's talk about the top 10. First two spots locked down by Call of Duty Black Ops. No surprise there. I think the surprise, though, is that the gap in sales is pretty small between the two versions. You have about 5 million for the 360 and about 3 million for the PS3.
So yeah, there's a 2 million gap, and yeah, I mean we knew they were the 800-pound gorilla, and they were.
That's less than I expected, but still, you're looking at what, 8 million copies of that game sold in 20 days.
Yeah,
that is insane.
They rewrote records, you know.
Dude, 8 million in 20 days.
All right, let's get off Black Ops. We know it fucking sold.
Yeah, that's number 3, man.
Yeah, let's go to number 3.
Yeah,
I'm really
we'd
moist
much rather
for this one.
talk about number 3.
No, fuck number
Just
3.
Dance
We've already
2.
talked about Black Ops. We know it sold a lot. It's the biggest
Dude,
media.
it's 8 million
I'm
units
actually
in
old.
20 days.
Can I just say, I'm actually really happy with number 4.
Let's talk about number 3. We Just Dance 2.
Oh, that's because there's a lot of fucking Muppets out there.
Dude,
Yeah, look at the drop.
There is a
3
bunch
million
of
to
fat,
660,000.
middle-aged donuts who are buying fucking balance board games, and they can suck it.
But
Let's talk
there's
about
something
number
wrong
4.
here because the numbers for Just Dance 2 are actually lower than Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
That is really
Yeah, you're totally right.
yeah.
Yeah, it says Just Dance sold 663,000, sadly. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood on the 360, 718,000.
Well,
Do
you know,
we have
we
the
don't
actual
consider
NPDs?
we don't consider Just Dance 2 a game anyway. So
No,
they
these
can
are
fuck
the
off.
real
So
NPDs.
Assassin's Creed is the number 3 top selling
right.
game for November. So yeah, good on them. I'm still kind of smarting they got chipped for Game of the Year nomination.
Well, then on the PS3, it sold about 425. So you're looking at kind of the same split there between that and what you had with Black Ops.
You're looking about 1.2 million for a game that came out mid-November.
Yeah.
That's actually a nice chunk of change for Ubisoft, and like I said, it's the
But I
best-
think we also have
best
to
one yet.
say here that that Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, it hasn't sold as well as the prior two games. I think Ubisoft here has a big dip.
Well, I think that this is just the US. I'm sure it sold really well in Europe, so I think we can I'm sure Ubisoft are not crying into their croissants.
Fable 3 at number 5 at 550,000.
In its second month of release.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
surprising.
It came out in
I think.
October. I mean, for it to make the top 5, so
It's got some legs.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country Returns, 430,000 units sold.
In a
I
couple
wonder
of
if
days,
Nintendo's
only
going to
in
be
a couple
happy
of
with
days.
that. I know they were upset with Metroid not breaking 1 million.
Metroid didn't get
Well, I
anywhere
mean, that was
near
only in a couple of days, and I think
No, I mean, like,
this
worldwide.
Does include Black Friday, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
the cutoff's actually November 27th.
Yeah.
so
Let's see if we get hold of the December ones. Let's see how it looks then, because
I mean, you can't go to GameTrailers without knowing Donkey Kong Country Returns is out there.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
well, I mean, Thanksgiving weekend they took over Comedy Central.
Yeah,
they
put a lot of money behind that game, but still, I mean, that's not bad. It's it sold a hell of a lot better than Metroid Other M. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
And then we got Gran Turismo 5 for the PS3 at number 8. Not really fair, obviously it was only out for a couple days, but it did
well.
do 400,000 units basically on launch day.
Which
yeah, but
really
it doesn't look like it sold any hardware.
Right.
Yeah.
It didn't move the hardware. It's not a hardware
unless
seller.
almost everybody who bought that Gran Turismo bought a PlayStation to play it on.
And then maybe.
Yeah. Then Halo Reach did another 354,000 views. I think that's probably the most impressive of them all. Another 350,000 in sales, and it was released in September.
I'm actually, you don't want to hear this, but I'm actually kind of surprised with Just Dance 2. It's interesting that these people care about a sequel.
I know.
I actually think that's it's good and bad.
But have you
it's
seen?
interesting.
I've managed to luck upon some commercials for Just Dance too.
Oh, okay, so they were pushing it.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but they're advertising in places you would never guess, and like they tell you, like go to Just Dance on Twitter. Like they direct people to different places from traditional video games.
Yeah, go to Cake Eating Monthly for a $5 coupon off Just Dance 2.
Yeah, and then rounding out the top 10, how can it be that Wii Fit Plus is back in the top 10 again? But it sold another 350,000 units. And here we go, finally with the Kinect stuff. So you guys probably can't see this on your screen, but Dance Central sold about 350,000 units. That's pretty good considering you needed Kinect to play it. Kinect Sports, 323,000. That's pretty freaking good. I mean, you were talking about, you split your user base. Again, that's a pretty good number. Just some more anecdotal numbers here. Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit. Did it sell best on PS3?
Yeah, it looks like it.
So, yeah.
203,000 units of that for the PS3, which is pretty good. On the 360, it sold 201, so basically dead even there.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say there is some justice in the world because you have to travel all the way down to number 36 before you find The Force Unleashed 2. So it shows that not all gamers are fucking suckers.
Yeah.
I am, because I fucking bought it.
But there are a lot of stuff. I mean, Just Dance 2 is there, and Wii Fit Plus is there. I mean, there's definitely some...
I was
Lots of
looking
value
for,
bundles.
Yeah, I was looking for Metroid Other M. I don't know if you guys see it anywhere on this list, but I wanted to see what it sold to date.
It's around 300,000 in the U.S.
Okay.
If you look through this full report, you'll see that it's in there. But it was sitting around 300,000 in the U.S. when I looked at it. So
Wheel of Fortune on the Wii beat out Kinectimals. How about that? I thought Kinectimals would be a little bit higher.
yeah, Michael Jackson game sold around 100,000 units. Looks like his cachet has come to an end in America, so to speak.
And here's an interesting one that I have found at the number 62 is GoldenEye.
Yeah, I don't think it had much time in the month.
Yeah,
though.
well, no, it's released. It was released and it's having a lot of push now. So yeah, that sold 73,000 on Wii.
So there they are, folks. There are the numbers. You probably won't get them
Happy
anywhere
Kwanzaa.
else. Happy Kwanzaa. Hanukkah's over, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you guys tomorrow. Have an awesome day with your family. Play some games with your family. Get your family into it because it'll only make your life better.
Watch the Doctor Who Christmas special on BBC America.